The average American family spends over $6,000 on a Walt Disney World vacation. But once the park tickets and hotel are locked in, the biggest drain on your remaining budget isn't souvenirs, it's the food. When you're spending that much on a trip, there is massive psychological pressure to book the iconic sit-down restaurants. You want the perfect vacation, so you secure reservations months in advance out of a deep fear of missing out. For decades, Disney has marketed these meals as the emotional peak of a park day. Look at this vintage shot of kids meeting characters. This is the promise they've sold for half a century. A relaxed, joyful experience where the memories easily justify the price tag. The reality in 2026 is entirely different. Across many of the resort's most famous dining rooms, you are now met with rushed service, declining food quality, and per-person prices that have far outpaced inflation. Bypassing these hyped dining reservations doesn't mean you are sacrificing the magic of your vacation. It is a necessary strategy to save thousands of dollars and reclaim hours of your day. Let's look at one of the most booked restaurants on property, Chef Mickey's at the Contemporary Resort. This chart maps the true cost of eating here. On the high input axis, you pay $66 per adult, giving up 2 hours of your morning. On the output axis, a chaotic environment, standard buffet food, and roughly 45 seconds of character interaction. Those 2 hours you spent at breakfast happen to be the most valuable operational hours of the day. You are sitting at a buffet precisely when the lines for top-tier rides in the parks are at their absolute shortest. You pay a premium price for average food while simultaneously making the rest of your park day much harder. The return on investment fails completely. Inside the Magic Kingdom, the emotional pull is even stronger. There is a deep desire to eat right inside Cinderella Castle. Securing the table at Cinderella's royal table will cost you $76 per adult for breakfast and $89 for dinner. Look at this comparison. Plotting Cinderella's royal table against standard quick service, the cost skyrockets, but culinary quality stays flat. You're paying a $50 markup entirely for the real estate, renting a chair inside a famous building. Prioritizing the location of your table over the quality of the food guarantees a blown budget, and you'll leave the meal feeling hungry for something better. Then there's Ohana at the Polynesian Village Resort, a restaurant heavily sustained by its past reputation. To get a table, guests wake up at 6 in the morning, 60 days before their trip, desperately refreshing their screens. Once you finally sit down, you are served skewers of meat that guests report as drier and lower quality than 5 years ago. This matrix shows a direct alternative. On the left, the high cost and 2-hour commitment of an Ohana dinner. On the right, Tambu Lounge. Walk right up, order the exact same famous noodles and bread pudding a la carte for a much lower bill. Knowing these menu loopholes gives you the exact same culinary reward for a fraction of the cost and zero logistical headaches. Over in EPCOT, it is incredibly tempting to book a formal sit-down meal like Coral Reef or La Crêperie de Paris just for the air conditioning and the ambiance. But EPCOT's actual culinary strength is out on the promenade. The highest-tier quick-service locations and the seasonal festival booths offer significantly better food for about 60% less than the formal dining rooms. Sitting down for a long, expensive meal in EPCOT eats up prime exploration time. That budget should be redirected to grazing on superior food as you walk the World Showcase. To see how this affects your entire vacation, let's compare two families taking a 5-day trip. Family A treats dining as the main event, booking a sit-down meal every single day. They end up spending around $180 per adult per day on food. This bar chart shows Family B. They use high-tier counter service and plan one calculated splurge, dropping their daily cost to $35 per adult. Family A's total hits $1,800, while Family B spends just $700. That is a daily savings of between $300 and $500, simply by swapping legacy dining for strategic quick service. There's a secondary benefit. Family B uses the mobile order system for all that quick service. They bypass the long food lines entirely, buying back precious hours of time they can use for rides. That total savings can fund an extra park day or a major resort upgrade. Rethinking where you eat yields the highest financial return of any decision you will make on the trip. The menus, chefs, and quality at Disney World change constantly. For a first-time visitor, memorizing which locations actually deliver value is nearly impossible. That's exactly why we built the Disney World Dining and Snacks Cheat Sheet. For $19, it acts as a direct insurance policy for your trip budget. It maps out all the high-value alternatives and steers you away from the $100 mistakes. Because the true magic of Walt Disney World is out in the parks. It's the attractions, the fireworks, and the time spent together, not an $89 mediocre steak. Skip the outdated tourist traps, grab the cheat sheet to protect your budget, and take absolute control of your vacation.